And one of the nice things about Kemerovo is we're quite industrial, and we also have a pretty stellar military compared to a lot of our neighbours, because we are an old Soviet general. The other thing, which I really like, is at least the Central Siberian warlords have a really cool mechanic, which is the legacy of the Siberian plan, where through decisions you can basically pick and choose your own national spirit bonuses. So I've gone really heavily for consumer goods, I've gone really heavily for construction speed, because I like just building up an industry super quickly, and that's like doubling down on our bonuses, or our strengths anyway. So yeah, that's another thing. You can spend political power to build that up. Another thing is all of the laws, you don't get to choose that. You start with a set of them, and then depending on focuses, it will change your laws to different things. So our trade law, for example, we were limited, but because we went like radical market capitalists, we got free trade from that focus. Then the other thing is the societal development. This is effectively, instead of mobilization, where you get a string of modifiers depending on how advanced your economy is. So right now we have very basic literacy. Let's go to education, which is giving us huge penalties. It's like one of the worst forms of literacy you can have. So I've invested fairly heavily in increasing my academic base, which you can again do through decisions. We'll talk about that in a second. And we're trying to improve our literacy levels so we don't have these minus 15% research speed and factory outputs. And you can do that also through decisions. So we are a warlord, we're a Viking, we go raiding stuff. So we're going to go and scavenge for some loot. We currently have 1 loot in the bank. Once we have that one, we can then spend it on investment. For example, building new schools. Building new schools improves your education ratings. You can also raid your neighbours. I don't know why those seem to have disappeared. For a while, we were raiding these guys especially, because this, hilariously, for a nation right next door to the Vikings, is an Orthodox state. So it's just like, do you have monasteries? Do you have treasure in those monasteries? That's our treasure now. So we've been raiding them pretty ruthlessly. And that is how you raise resources. Legacy of the Siberian plan. This is where you can make choices about what your national spirits will do. They will cost political power. And then also, because we're a warlord, we have various focuses we can do. For example, improving our research short term, improving our planning short term, that type of thing. It's kind of cool. Raiding to build schools sounds legit. It's the Viking way. We take stuff from other people so that we can have more stuff and be better. Nikolai Andreev was dragged into King Rurik's throne room and forced to his knees before the king. He was bruised and bloody, and the once charismatic general was now quiet, his eyes staring at some unknown point of interest in the floor. Andreev was a man who deserted King Rurik at his lowest point. The smoking, the drinking, the humiliation, and the guilt all stemmed from Andreev's betrayal. While the king had risen from his nadir, Andreev's betrayal still angered his majesty. Andreev was formally charged with a long list of crimes, and Andreev confessed to these crimes after some coercion from the royal guard. It was now time for King Rurik to determine Andreev's sentence. Either exile or execution. Would Rurik be like Vladimir the Great, who slew his own brother for his treachery? Or would he set a more merciful example? Let Andreev live on in foreign lands. Could King Rurik forgive this traitor so easily? Nikolai Andreev's fate rested in King Rurik's hands, and King Rurik's hands alone. Nikolai Andreev shall be expelled from the realm, upon pain of death if he ever returns. Oh, exile. I wonder how that can change. Because that feels like that's a thing that can change. Or maybe it's random. A king for Krasnoyarsk. Now that the traitorous General Andreev is dealt with, and the generals have been integrated, we should begin work on bringing the rest of Krasnoyarsk under the rule of the Tsar. Old administrators are to be replaced, new flags are to be brought in, and the image of General Andreev shall vanish from the streets of Krasnoyarsk. After we have imposed Rurik's authority over the new subjects, our position in the region will be stronger. The state will soon be ready to remove the remaining opponents of this grace that skulk around us. The state shall soon be ready to remove the remaining opponents of his grace that skulk around us. It is now seeming that it's only a matter of time before His Majesty will rule over our enemies. And this will reduce the coring time, which will reduce the stability cost of coring. And we have got another doctrine done. Excellent. Let's get this one. More recruitable population and also much more sturdy infantry. Massive boost to organisation. Guns, tanks and planes only perform as well as the men who man them. Take away the men and even the most sophisticated weapon systems remain inert and useless as scrap metal. A healthy reserve corps will preclude this scenario from occurring in our armies. Also, I never read the previous one. Yes, I did. Cool. Cool. And then once this is done, we'll integrate Krasnoyarsk. 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 I don't really know how to pronounce that. That's a difficult one. My mouth is making shapes it shouldn't make. Hey, Sergey. Krasnoyarsk. Thank you. I summon the Russian and the Russian appears. Have you played this yet? Because I think you would like this. A king for Krasnoyarsk. Krasnoyarsk. Okay, so we can now offer to Eurasia, end the revolt, declaring war on the Siberian Black Army, or strike down the remnant. I don't think we want to go for the Siberians yet. We could also go for the People's Revolutionary Council. Hold on, where are they? They're down here. I feel like the People's Revolutionary Council should definitely be done when we have a bigger border. Because I have a feeling we're just going to out-troop them. I'm only seeing 3 divisions. And we have 5. I don't even know what mod this is. What's it about? This is the New Order. This is basically what would have happened if Germany won the Second World War. And part of that is the implosion of the Soviet Union and the rise of all the various warlords. And they're actually quite interesting to play as. We're currently playing as Rurik II, who is a former Soviet general who lost battle after battle after battle after battle, and then his mind shattered, and he now believes that he's a Viking king. And yes, the 1960s. So there are 3, possibly more, nuclear powers: Japan, the USA, and Germany. And one of the reasons Germany won is they invented the nuke. And also Italy beat the Brits in Egypt. Those were like 2 of the major turning points. I'm finding that Kemerovo is now actually easier to find on the map because it's not just this big. It's like tripled in size. It's lovely. Does the Siberian Black Army have a focus tree? Yep. They are one of the recommended nations to play as. And it has actually expanded. They have gone to the Black Spring. What's the Italian border gore in the Adriatic? Well, they just tried to drain the Mediterranean. It was just a little thing. And right, we need to choose a new thing. I don't think I want to do that. Maybe offer Eurasia. I think we're going to send an offer to Eurasia. It was, after all, Rurik I who embraced orthodoxy, and perhaps that's something which is going to happen again here. Despite having long been an outspoken skeptic of religion, Rurik has become increasingly interested in the old believers of Eurasia. The odd ways of their leader, Zavaloko, has led to unity and stability within the native Altaic people, despite the vast cultural differences. The peoples of Eurasia have truly earned the respect of His Highness. As such, His Grace is determined to send a proposition to Eurasia. They shall be granted an opportunity to surrender to the king in return for his protection. Since they have no ambition other than to peacefully survive, Eurasia will be assuredly accept this honourable and benevolent proposal. If not, our army will be way more convincing. So we should probably send the army down here just to act a bit menacing. And that is going to include Boris. Who is going to... No, not there. There. to there. Go. And are you done training yet? Almost. 3 civilian factories. Wow, we built another one. Excellent. Okay, so I think it's probably time to start getting militaries. I kind of want to get to like 15, but I also think that's a terrible idea. So we're going to start building militaries now. We should get these done way quicker. Oh yeah, and coring the state. Good point. Yes, we can do that now. Scroll, 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 scroll. And also spend the loot. Scroll, scroll. So 65 days. It saved us 5 days. Fantastic. Okay. And then the raiding and the loot. What do we want to do? So we can get new schools, which will increase the rate of academia even faster. And our literacy is really garbage. Or we could get research facilities, which is outdated, but it's not actually that big a penalty. I think the academic base is the bigger issue. Industrial equipment and workers. The workers was the expertise. And we have a nascent industrial base. Oh, that is a massive penalty, though. Well, no, it's only the retention. So if we don't switch industries, it's not that big an issue. And then the equipment is the power tools. This one is a big problem, because that's almost as bad as the education. Because we're second to lowest. So if we were to improve equipment, that's going up at 2, we got 38. That's going up at 2, it's got 42. I think I want the academic base first. So we're going to double down and build some new schools. And then the other thing, which I was going to do today, and I very nearly forgot, is Robert C. has very kindly given us a code for Age of Wonders 3. So if you would like to earn yourself a copy of Age of Empires 3, then you should do the following. I need to think of a keyword. Oh, it's an obvious one, really. Rurik. If you would like to win a copy of Age of Wonders 3, then you need to put Rurik into chat, just like that. Copy and paste it if you would like to be considered for a copy of the game. So Rurik. Rurik is what you need to put in. If you would like to get a copy of Rurik, put it in. Of Rurik? No, of Age of Wonders. Age of Wonders 3. Oh, that was a bit of a delay. Crikey. That was like 30 seconds. I was like staring at chat thinking, you just not speaking? Burrick. Someone was saying earlier that there seemed to be a long delay on the stream. I don't have stream delay on, do I? I'm sure I turned that off. Nope, it's off. I know I had it on last weekend. Durek. So if you type in Crusader Kings 3, you'll have a chance of a copy of that. I mean, you could try. Probably wouldn't work, but you can certainly try. And yeah, if you've already got the game, please don't put the Rurik in chat. We had that earlier. Went for a giveaway for E4 and it's like, oh, I've already got it. Oh, thanks, I guess. I mean, I just need to press another button and it rolls it again. Stream has been cutting in and out randomly for a while. Yeah, it has been. We're at 2.8% frames. So I guess we're just having another bad day. Alright, 20 seconds more, and then I'm going to press the roll it button. So, Rurik, if you would like a copy of Age of Wonders 3. What game is it? Age of Wonders 3. Hot Blue, thank you very much for the follow. Cito, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channels. Because my internet seems fine at the moment, but I wasn't looking when I was talking about Age of Wonders. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the hilarious thing is that countdown's probably just started for you. Go. Alright, Organic Waffles. Organic Waffles, please put a message in chat so I can see you and then send you a copy of Age of Wonders 3. Organic Waffles. Thank you. And there you go. I've sent you a whisper on Twitch. Just follow that link and you should get a copy of the game. Congratulations to Organic Waffles. And thank you very much for that, iRobertC. Very much appreciate you giving that game away. Thank you very, very much. Okay. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. Vikings in Russia! We are still missing a lot of stuff for the garrison. Well, actually, that's probably not going to matter in 61 days. And then hopefully we can get a refund on that equipment and produce another unit or 3. So, what's Russia going to say? Transbaikal Principality declared war on the all-Russian government of Amur. Which is over here. Wow, Magadan's not exactly very big. The Free State of Magadan. Offer to Irosha, completed. So, I'm going to give that a day or two so they can... There we go. Our envoys have returned from Irosha and they bring with them good news. The Irosians have accepted our generous offer and have submitted to the authority of King Rurik. President Zavaloko has made the right choice, and now the king shall ensure that Zavaloko's people are safe and protected from any who wish them harm. An attack against Irosha is now an attack against the king himself. God bless the king! And I'm guessing that this is going to be another one that I then need to integrate, so do we get any advantage to that? The power of myth. Gain 10% stability and political power. So no. The strange ways of Orosha continue to intrigue the king, who has become increasingly interested in the orthodox mysticism. His Excellency has commanded that a number of mystic advisors be invited to his court as swiftly as possible. This is so like the original Rurik, it's great. The arrival of these holy men will certainly cause some confusion due to the king's known cynicism of religion and the past dismissal of priests, although this would not be the greatest change the king has been through. Old believers in the recently occupied lands of Orosha are sure to approve this decision and the benefits that it will bring to their conditions. These new spiritual guides are bound to hold great influence over his grace and thus have considerable power and prestige within the kingdom. Do that and do that. Okay. And now we need to move the army back over here, because I think that I'm going to go after the Siberian Black Army next. Although we would, theoretically... You have helicopters? Airborne Division. They do. Huh. I wonder how many troops these guys have. These are big estates. Yeah, zero scale. It's because the Aryan Brotherhood is a Nazi thing. That's something that's come up a few times, and I feel like I should talk about it for a second here. You might want to have a word with the developers, because that's going to be a real problem for streamers and YouTubers. Aryan Brotherhood is not a good thing to be allowing in chat. Because we do sometimes get Nazis coming through, and that is the type of thing that they will be espousing. Just FYI. Yeah, in the game they're a warlord, but in reality they're something a lot worse. So, You might want to have a word with the developers about using that term, especially if they want this to be streamed a lot. Because streamers will have a problem with it. As you saw, Twitch has a problem with it. Yeah, so? Just because this is a mod about the Nazis winning doesn't mean that I want stuff that Nazis in reality could potentially use to say stuff in chat. Call them the AB. Okay, that works. The AB. Okay. We'll know what you mean. Okay, so we have Rurik. We're going to say, I want you to take all of this. Who do I want to attack? Do I have any more information about these guys yet? No. No, I do not. I know a great deal about their navy. We have 52% of their naval information. You know, this central Siberian state. But nothing about their army. Except for the fact that they have a fielded of manpower of 34 to 55,000. How much do I have? 42. So their army is bigger. Albeit only just. No, we're about the same. And I have another 30,000 in training, so I will have the bigger force. Plus, I have tanks. And then the other one was the People's Revolutionary Council. Can I get any information about you? Yes. You actually have a really small army. It's modern, it's developed, but it's small. You've got Stretzley, you've got cavalry, you've got tanks, possibly. Airborne guards, and then elite Streltsky. So pound for pound, your units will be stronger, which is why I kind of want you on the bigger front. So I think we're going to fight the big war against the Siberian Black Army, and then we'll go after the Revolutionary Council once we have this entire front, and I can use my higher numbers. How did I get tanks? Focus. Yeah, sure, Marshall. I'll send it you on Discord, it'll be easier for me. Except you are not currently on Discord. I gotcha. Sent it to you on Twitch. There you go. Right, so yes, we have those. Then we're also going to want Boris to prepare with the tanks. Now that's a giant river. Oh, we're going to be going across a river regardless of what we're attacking. You know what? Going after the Siberian Black Army would be a heck of a lot easier from the lands of down here. Hold on, I need to make some decisions. Mountains, mountains, hills, mountains, mountains. So the hills are here in the center. Oh, right, you were saying this... Yeah, Tanutuva. Interesting. How good are tanks in mountains and hills? Mountains. 91% move. Attack 78%. Hills. You actually have a movement bonus in hills, and your attack isn't that bad. So I think so long as Boris is attacking in hills, we'll be okay. So we need you to go here. We need you to go here. And then I think I'm going to try and attack Krizel. from the south. Like so. We could try to cut the nation in half, but I think just doing this much of a breakthrough would be fine. Because they should be incredibly quick. Okay. We're not going to want to do this until we have our new units in the field. Are you still training? For goodness sake, you are as well. And these guys are still training. I might want to deploy them while they're still greens, though. Iberia announces the creation of the Iberian Council. With a nation formed under such circumstances and whilst maintaining an authoritarian culture as Iberia did, it should come as no surprise the ruling in an effective way could be hard. The Iberian Caudillos have hence announced that it will, to support their effort to stabilize and further unite their new nation, they would establish an advisory council of state officials whose sole job it was to advise on matters of state. Their direct influence on policy should be negligible, yet in reality analysts have predicted that the council could be used by either Caudillo to gain an upper hand on any political disagreement between the two. Consequently, it's been deemed that the council may act counterintuitively in further dividing the two nations instead of uniting them. Further coverage will likely shine a light on the effectiveness of this new Iberian reform. A useless organisation for a weak state. They should become Vikings instead. The Welsh Revolution. Terror in Wales today as the National Assembly, rudderless for weeks after a devastating no-confidence vote, was stormed by armed militants led by Julian Caio Evans. The takeover was largely bloodless, with some of the most far-right members of the parliament cheering their arrival with salutes and impromptu performances of the Welsh anthems. Pro-unionist and leftist politicians fled the building immediately, leaving the governance of the state to a wholly nationalist faction. Caio's militant supporter known as the Free Welsh Army were considered an impossibly disparate fringe group for most of its history. When the coal industry slumped, the FWA rapidly consolidated support amongst the discontents of this crash and blazed ahead towards a coup d'etat. The searing anti-Anglo rhetoric of Caio has understandably terrified everyone whom it targets. Somewhat free, definitely Wales, and certainly an army. Yeah, take that, HRE. Okay, so what stuff are we still really short on? Guns and support equipment. We have loads of RPGs at this point. So I think I'm going to double down on gun production. I might even cancel RPGs. Because we do have a lot. Now, if we were to create a new unit of Drużyna, how many RPGs do they require? 90. Yeah, it's 6 times more guns. So you've effectively got 2 units worth. We'll wait until we get to like 500 and then we'll switch. Because we'll lose some. May need to move my spy. Thank you. I do indeed. Oops. Can't just click you, unfortunately. Alright. How is my planning preparation here? Wow. 117%. Interesting. Right, because Rurik is an excellent planner himself. I'd totally forgotten that he gives a bonus. Excellent.